Well, welcome everybody. We're the Blender. This is our last day at Wonderfest, and welcome to the Blender for your workflow for your Scratch building. So everybody's here as Scratch builders. Okay, all right. So you're using styrene and kit bashing and stuff like that. All right, cool. Let's open up Blender real quick. Um, we're gonna look at some interesting workflow concepts, especially for 3D printing. You guys are going to be using 3D printing. I brought up a 3D printing software. Let me actually go get it. Oh, I closed it down, didn't I? Let's go back to get the cheetah box. And we'll just type it in, cheetah box. Has anybody done 3D printing before here? One, two, three people. The other two, no. Okay. All right. So it should be that should be able to log me in there just fine. All right. So we're going to talk about your workflow from Blender 3D to getting into to your Scratch build. I'm using the largest 3D printers on the market. I'm using the Frozen Mega 8K and 8KS. You are too. Good. Okay. Who else? Let's see. What printers are you using?
Saturn Ultra.
Saturn Ultra.
Same.
Same.
Anycubic.
And I have an Anycubic as well. Okay. Are you have a 3D printer?
I have a FDM,
An FDM printer. Okay.
but I send out for if I need high res.
Right. Oh, yes.
Oh, I understand.
Okay. So so stop me anytime to ask questions. I'm going to go here and I'm going to hide this thing. I just learned how to do this the other day. Boom. Cool. All right. This can be minimized. It doesn't matter. All right. All right. The printer that I use is a Frozen. So I'm inside of ChitoBox. ChitoBox has a free version and it has a paid version. And we're going to talk about some things. So those with the person with the Frozen probably knows that there are rules to this game, and then the rules don't often work in a lot of cases. That you're going to have failures. There's a reason why you have failures, but it takes a lot of experience. The learning curve is high with 3D printing. Everybody thinks they can buy a 3D printer and it's just going to work, right? It doesn't. You're going to have failures. So I'm going to put in my printer. Now, what ChitoBox gives you, your company, so some of you have Elegoo, another person has some have a Creality, you have an Anycubic, I have an Anycubic, and I'm going to go to my personal printer here, which is going to be the Frozen. So if I scroll down, there it is. There's the Frozen. I'm gonna drop it down. Now, what's nice about this is it actually gives you the picture of your printer. They didn't used to do this back in the day. You just had to find the name. I'm going to scroll down and there's my Mega 8KS. I'm going to go with that Mega 8KS. I have two. I have the Mega 8KS and I also have the Mega 8K. Now, I'm going to constantly compare these two to one another because they are essentially the exact same build plate. What's the build plate dimensions on that in inches? 14 inches long, 14 inches long, 7.5 inches deep, and 11 inches high. Okay, that's a resin printer. That's the 8KS. This one is the exact same thing as this one, except it goes 14 inches high instead of 11 inches high. So keep that in mind. There's a reason I'm mentioning this. So I'm going to click this, click next. Okay. And it's going to ask you, it's going to give me all the dimensions of my printers right here. Resolution, the size, and then these numbers here are so critically important. This is going to be a reason why you're going to get a lot of failures caused in your prints. You're going to keep the height at 0.05. You can go less, by the way, but it's going to take you a long time. with a filament workflow. Hi, welcome. With filament workflow, your hothead is moving in three-dimensional space. To record every aspect and every detail of your model. The resin printers don't do that. They record one layer simultaneously. So what does that do for you? Speeds up your time tremendously, right? So where the nozzle has to go to X, Y, and Z to spit it out for the FDM printer, our printers, the resin printer, will record layer by layer simultaneously. So it speeds up print time tremendously. Okay, so however, there is, negatives and positives. The negatives is that it uses a lot of resin. Resin's expensive. Filament is not that expensive. And a filament printer can use a lot of filaments before a lot before it runs out. It takes forever for it to run out. You can print a lot of models. That won't be the case here. All right, so if we go down here, we got what's called lift distance. We have lift speed. The way a resin printer works is that when your build plate comes down, your LCD screens in the bottom, it emits one layer of light, a picture, and I'll show you that. We'll come in here and I'll show you that in just a little bit. And then this building layer by layer straight up. So whereas his FDM printer has the print head moving in all different directions, the build plate only moves in one direction, up and down, and that is it. So there's less, problems mechanically. But we'll get more into that as well. And I'm going to talk more about lift speed as well. But let's go into Blender. I'm going to bring in some models. We're going to talk about the models. Let me go apply the project. You guys also have print speed on FDM printers. We have print speeds here. So that's called basically your lift speed. That's your print speed. Okay, well, I'm going to apply that to project. All right, I'm going to go to new project, and there's my build plate. Now, what's beautiful about this software is that it actually shows you the picture of your actual build plate. Right down here, this look, that's my build plate. Now I'm gonna give you a comparison to the Frozen 8K. If I come up here and say, let's see, was it here? Let's go get a new. I think I just clicked this here, didn't I? Up it here, new platform. No, it didn't like that. Go to the machine. All right, how do I get back here? I've completely forgotten. Okay, applying at the project. There we go. Drop this down up here. Here it is. They moved it. That's it. I go back to grab the print. Let's go back and go get the Frozen. Oops, that passed it. Frozen, frozen, frozen. There it is. Drop it down. Here we go. 8K. Next. Okay. So resins are over here. And this is going to change. I'm going to apply the project. See? It's going to be a little bit of a different look. So now I can go back and forth between here. It'll keep this in my preferences and see it change. That's kind of nice. All right. That's what I love about the Chitty Bike software. Middle click pans, two-dimensional, up and down, right to left. Right click rotates. Scroll wheel zooms in and out. Okay. Chitterbox also does filament. What are you using for your filament printer? What software program are you using?
I have Bamboo, so
Using the Bamboo software then. Okay, all right. All right, so let's go into Blender. Let's go do some playing around. Let's bring in something practical. So I just let's see what I've gotten here. I'm going to go to Command O, come into here, and let's go over to my main system, D drive, Blender project. So I organize everything, all my clients' projects under a central folder called Blender projects. Little organizational here. Double click. Yeah, go for it.
Is Blender the kind of program you'd have to purchase, or is it free? Yeah, download it for free.
That's a good question. In fact, I should have started. Let's go to blender3d.com. Blender.com, but .org. .org. So the Blender Foundation, download it. It's completely free. It's completely free. Now, anybody know the name of the program that's kind of the 3D program is kind of the industry standard right now? In the effects and CG industry? Maya? Familiar with Maya, right? This is starting to take over the Maya market. Not because it's free, but because it's revolutionizing 3D design and 3D workflow. Blender.org, you can go download it here. And the beauty about this is the current version is 5.1.2 was just released the beginning of last week. They're always updating, and the program is out. It's amazing. It does video editing, it does modeling, it does 3D printing, it does CG effects, it does animation, it does 3D sculpting. I'm going to show you guys a little bit of that today. If you go down to the bottom, you'll see a pink area called experimental. That's where you actually get to go play with the beta builds and the alpha builds. If you click on this, let's see what they have. Okay, so they have the alpha version of 5.2. 5.2 has not yet been released, but you can actually go and go play with it. Okay, so just as an FYI. Now, let's go back into Blender and let's go back. I'm going to go grab something. Let's go grab a client's work. So I got a Blender projects. All my projects are organized here, usually under the client's name or the project's name. So I got Dave McLean. I've got Comic-Con. Let's see. Let's pick something in here. I've got the enterprise one. Here's one for David Alexander. He's doing a talk right now. Let me see. I want to just take a quick little scan here. Starship Concepts. This may be a good one. All right. Starship Concepts. Let's open that up. In fact, I've got a better one, a much better one. We're going to come over here to there, and we're going to go down to the Wonderfest folder. There. Okay. That's what I'm looking for. Here's a starship that I designed. It's not finished, so don't laugh at it. I'm going to open it up. And there it is. Okay. Now, I got the concept from AI. And I want to talk a little bit about that today, too, as part of your workflow, as a potential aspect of your workflow. So I got ideas from AI, and I want to print this model out. Okay. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to create everything in halves with a purpose. And that would be when you design your models, you're going to want the person you're building it for to put lights inside, maybe for the rocket. If you look back here, you can actually look inside the rockets, right? If I go in, if I get in closer, you can see it's hollow in there. Okay, I did that for a reason. So that the client can actually bring in wiring, put in lights so it can light up. These windows here, let me kind of pull it back a little bit. They're going to be printed in clear. All right. So again, the user can put the lights inside the cockpit and light it up from the inside. All right. Now, you're seeing this as one solid piece, but that's not the way it's modeled. If I click on the body, you're going to see in Blender, I have modifiers attached to this. So modifiers make Blender non-destructive. I'll show you an example after I show you setting us up for 3D printing. So one of the modifiers I have in here is called mirror. If I select it, you get to see that something's being mirrored. So I'm going to click on the body itself. And let me go back down here to there we go. Click on the body. There's the mirror function. Right down here are the properties for the mirror. And we kind of pull these up. And you'll see a monitor symbol. You'll see I'm gonna pull this over. You'll see the word mirror. On the right hand side, you'll see some icons. This is the icon. Welcome. Grab a seat. What took you guys so long?
Got lost on the way.
You get lost on the way. It's easy. Easy to get lost in this place. See that? Turn that on and off. See that half go away? I'm modeling that with a purpose. If I go on the inside, we'll go on the inside in just a little bit. Let me click on the engines, right? It too has a mirror modifier. I can click the little monitor here or the monitor here, and that too now goes away. This is how I'm going to 3D print it, with the exception of the cockpit. So let me move the cockpit out of the way real quick. This is two parts for me. So I modeled, let's see if I could actually get it to activate. Sometimes it's a little problem connecting. There we go, got it. And shift key should be another one. There we go, got it. Now I'm going to just pull that up. Move tool is activated here. I've got my 3D widgets, X, Y, and Z. Hit the N key to make that go away. I'm going to pull this on over so I have more real estate and just pull that on up like this. All model separate pieces. So that piece will be all in clear, and now we can see inside. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm creating articulated landing gear. We're going to set this up for 3D printing. Now, what the landing gear is going to do is this. If I click on the bones are the things that make things, it's attached to the landing gear, so the landing gear can be animated. I'm going to go to an option called pose mode to animate the bones. If I select the bones and start to play with this, I can bring out the landing gear like this. All right. This is what we were doing in my Friday class, which some of you guys missed. What is up with that?
That was on the road.
It's a long drive.
Yeah.
It's a long. All right, so I'm gonna Okay, so I'm strategizing. So how am I gonna break this so it can print? Now, what I need to do a couple of things. I'm going to design it so that there's a hole in the engine and a hole in the body, because the engines and the body are two separate objects, right? They're two separate objects. I would go back to object mode, one object here, right? And one object there. So I'm going to create a hole in it so that the builder can put all the wires and guts and batteries inside here, and then wire it through to the engine to light up the engine, and then wire it through straight up to the cockpit so he can light up the cockpit. Does that make sense? So when you're building this stuff in Blender, you're building with you always got to think about, what the purpose is, and you always got to kind of rethink about things that you didn't think about. Oftentimes I'll redesign things based on a client's suggestion. They'll say, well, like, I'll show you the Proteus. So don't let me forget to show you guys the Proteus. He says, Steven, your Proteus would be great if only if it had windows back here, right? And I said, oh, those are my marching orders to put windows back there. So I went and did it. And it became cooler, right? It became nicer. So you listen to your client, sometimes post it on the Facebook, listen to the community. You get a bunch of people come on going, oh, that's really cool, but wouldn't it be nice if you did this or that or this or that? Listen to those suggestions and add them in there and see what happens. So okay, let's go to work. Now, I want to 3D print this stuff. I've got modifiers on the legs, all right? So here, let me just click on the legs here. I'm gonna bring this back over, and I'm gonna turn off the mirror on that and the mirror on this. So these all have the mirror modifier. Get in close so I can select that correctly.
I have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
Does a mirror just mean that you're making something invisible, so you're not just taking it out, you're just not seeing it, or does it like duplicate it somewhere else?
Okay, so what the mirror is doing is creating an instance. All right, let me show you. That's a great question. That's a great question. So let me show you this way. I'm going to bring in a cube, Shift A, go to Mesh, and bring in a cube. Pull the cube on over here so we can focus on it. Period key on the numeric side of your keyboard to zoom in to the selected object. Pull it back. Okay. Instead of I'm going to use something else. I'm going to use array instead of mirror. It's the same thing as mirror, but array allows you to do multiple objects. So let's pull this on over like this. And let's just zoom in close real quick. All right, pull it back. Now, the modifier, there's two different panels, preferences panels or properties panels. The vertical panel with the colorful icons here, or if I hit the N key for numerics, I have another panel on the left-hand side. This is where normally your plugins that you install on the Blender go. I'm gonna hit the N key again to make it go away. And I'm gonna come over here to my blue wrench, the little blue section, blue wrench. These are my modifiers. There are no modifiers here because I haven't put one in yet. So I'm getting ready to add one in. Add, generate, there's the mirror, or if I go to the top, I can add, let me get this out of the way, I can add the, let's go right here, add that there, go to generate. I can add the array there. That adds more cubes. I got 2 cubes added, 3, 4, 5, 6, or I can scroll them out like this so we can see them all. This is what the mirror is doing. It's adding what's called an instance. It's not a duplicate. What that means, what an instance means is that each one of these, all the data in every one of these cubes is coming from one cube, the original cube that I created. Now, this is going to be great for 3D printing. We're going to, matter of fact, here, let's do this. No, I'll do this first, then I'll show the next thing. Yes.
Just so, in other words, if you're doing something like that, where, for example, the ship that you've modeled.
Yep.
If you mirror one half of it,
Right.
now you have that other side. You can do something to flip it.
Yep.
Now you only have to change
That.
the model. It'll automatically change
Yeah.
the mirror.
Yeah, well, kind of like that. Keep that in mind.
Oh.
Okay, now I'm gonna go in here and edit this, right? I'm in object mode. This is the mode we can animate things in. Tab key is a shortcut to give me the options for edit or object. Go to edit mode. Now I want to edit this, right? I want to change it. I'm going to grab that face right there, right? I'm going to pull this on over. I want to add more geometry in there because I want to actually model something in the top of that face. I for inset, push it on in. E for extrude, extrude it on out. That's right. S for scale, scale it on all down. All right. Let's put this in more practical terms. Let me get out of here. I'm going to delete it. Hit delete on the keyboard. I'm going to bring in instead a cylinder. Pull it on over so we can play with it. Hit the period key so I can zoom in on the cylinder. We are going to add an array to this. So add a new modifier, array. Okay. And we're going to go 10. We got 10. But what can we do with array? Now, this should spark some imagination here in terms of how you would utilize this next technique. Over here in array, I got a line shape. This is the new array in Blender, by the way. I can go to circle. So if I pull this on out, all right, it's very cool. All right, so now I want to say, I want more details. All right, so let's come over here. Let's go into tab key, edit mode. There's the original right there. So we'll just pop into it. Well, I want to see everything anyway. And we've got the option to edit your faces, your edges. We want to get that face there. I key for inset, inset it in. E key for extrude, extrude it on up. S key for scale, scale it on down. I want to add some more geometry along the side. Control R is the slicing command. I just sliced it. I want to just commit that slice. With that slice, I want to bevel that slice. Control B for bevel. Pull it, make it a little bit thicker. Okay, now we have more geometry to play with. Now, Alt E for extrude along normals and pull it on out like this. All right. I can add more details. Got a good solid. Now I'm gonna hit Control R. Actually, maybe don't want Control R. Maybe yeah. Control R. Add something here. Cool. Now watch this. In face editing mode, I'm gonna grab one face. I'm gonna shift select the next face, and Blender remembers this pattern. So I'm gonna hold down Control and Shift plus 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 done. E key for extrude. All right, see the possibilities. So what could you be doing with this? Maybe a jet engine fan concept. You get all the fans moving around in an array. Okay. Cool. All right. So let's stop playing. We'll come back to this concept. So I'm going back to object mode by hitting the tab key instead of edit, get an object. This is the animation mode, and this is the mode that I can just hit delete key on my keyboard to delete what I just did. So let's go back to our good old Starship here, and we're going to export this out so we can 3D print it. It's designed like this. Okay, let me see. This should still be the same. Let me go to. See, that's separate. So up here is landing position. Here is flying position. So this is designed to do this. I want the client to be able to do that. So this has to be what? Separate. We got to print that separately. So we're going to do that. And I've got it merged together so everything is one piece. All right, so I tell you what, let's do first thing first. Let's do the cockpit. It'll be the easiest, right? So here, let's go. There we go. Grab that. The cockpit is two pieces. And also, check this out, guys. The cockpit also is a mirror. See? Time is money. You only want to do half. So that cockpit's a mirror. But so is this one here. That's a mirror. Was that a mirror? No, it was a mirror. I merged it together. So we don't need to merge it. I'm going to turn the mirror back on. We don't need to merge this. Remember, this is all non-destructive. I can turn it off and on however I want. Subdivision surfaces, solidify. Now check this out. This thing is actually one sheet of paper like that. See? That was how I built it. Just a thin sheet of paper. Then I went to a modifier called solidify. Again, add modifier, generate solidifier right there. I add solidify to it because it thickens it. You need thickness, so turn on solidify, boom, I got thickness. Right? So this is going to be printed and clear. All this, remember, but keep in mind, these are two objects, one there and one over here. If I click it, there we go. I need to select them both, right? I want to select them both. I forgot something here. I got some details down here that I neglected to pay attention to, and they go on the cockpit. They're right there. They're these little things. Let me go see if I can grab it. Lucky for me, I'm organized, and I put everything inside a folder called cockpit, I believe. I hope I did. I did, right there. There's cockpit. So everything I need for the cockpit, I can just grab all this. And first of all, I want to move those little pieces. There it is. See, so now they're highlighted. Go to my move tool, move them up. They're supposed to go right. Let's see, get this right. This is the extra little greebly detail I put on here, right? So I want to get it just right, push it down, like that look good. Okay.
Now, is your cockpit supposed to be smooth or it's supposed to be faster than like?
The cockpit, that's a very, very good question. The question is the cockpit supposed to be smooth? Here's somebody who's getting anal on me. I want my cockpit smooth. I don't want it looking like that. I don't look like a diamond. I want mine smooth. Well, yeah, because I have right down here. Let me go get the close. Let's click. Let's select the cockpit there, right? Subdivision surfaces. Subdivision surfaces is what it states. It subdivides it until it's smooth, and boom, it's a modifier. It's non-destructive, right? So if I rotate this around, we got to go back and select everything. I got three things to select for the cockpit. Yep. So here I got everything organized in the group, in the folder. So now I can go here and select that and control, and that guarantees I've got everything. If you don't put them in groups, you have a one big line of a bunch of stuff, and you have a hard time figuring out where everything is, right? So organization is really important. Okay. Now let's export this out. We're gonna bring it into our workflow, our workbench workflow. File menu, export. What format, guys? Excellent. STL. Everybody should be familiar with that. Select it. Okay. It's going back into my, this is what I want. So I'm gonna make a new folder, right click, new folder, and we're gonna call it new STL exports, just to stay organized for today's presentation. Double click it, right down here, rename it, call it cockpit glass, because that's going to be printed in clear. So I want it separate. Now, very important, right up here, under general, you want to make sure you have the selected object only. If you don't, it'll export everything you have in Blender, and it's going to piss you off. Okay. So we also want to apply what? The modifiers. Remember the modifiers that made it smooth? Remember the modifiers that mirrored it and all that? You want all that intact. So you don't have to apply the modifiers in Blender. You can keep everything non-destructive and let Blender do it for you when it export to an STL. Export, it's done. All right, let's go to Chitubox. Chitubox. Bing. All right, which one do I want? This is a good one. Now we're going to bring in our object. So I will go to, was it select the model? Or there's a right click. Open, I think is what I had. No, that's opening up a, I know, it's asking for STL. We go to open. All right, so we'll come right over here, go to D drive. My Blender projects, go down to Wonderfest 2026. New STL exports, as we named it. Cockpit glass is right there. Double click it. Boom. It's kind of tiny because I didn't resize it properly, so that's no big deal. So what I'll do is I'll just resize it manually. On the right-hand side, object is selected. You got your rotation and you got your scale and you got your percentages. So maybe we'll knock this up to what? 500%? It'll do the same for everything. Yeah, maybe we're gonna need 1,000%. Select it all. There we go. See that? We'll make it 2,000. No, 3,000. There we go. That's a little bit too big. Make it 2,000. That's better. Okay. I had something else chosen in here, which is part of the cockpit, but I forgot to move that up. So just be aware of that. There's the model. See the thickness from Solidify? All the parts that we selected is all intact, ready to 3D print. Now, how do we orient this on the I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm gonna delete it, and we're going to go back to Blender, and I'm going to get that piece right down here. There, move it up. That's where it goes. We rotate it around, zoom in close. Remember, this is going to fit flat on the model, so I don't want that piece going past this bottom ridge. So I'm going to take it and just push it right there. That looks good. See what I'm doing? Okay, so now I will come here and select them all. File, export. I'm going to do the body of the ship too, by the way. And then replace the cockpit glass. Selection should already be there. Apply modifier should all be the same because it remembered what we did last time. Overwrite, done. Okay, now we will go back to Toolbox. Right click, open. Cockpit glass, it defaulted back to the folder. And there we go. We had 2,000, right? 2, 1, 2, 3. Boom. And there it is. See, it fits right on the plate. All right. You do not want to print it like this. Everybody understands why? You got to have supports. You got to have supports. You got to have supports. Especially with resin printing. With FDM printing, you do want to orient it like this. All right? That's the difference is FDM likes this, resin doesn't. So it has to be oriented how? Well, just say it. Say it. At a diagonal. Do you understand why?
So you get the supports on it.
Okay, one is you got supports, but there's a couple rules in play that a lot of people are ignoring.
Function issues too.
Excellent. It's the suction. You want to orient this. Hey, welcome. Take you way long time to get here. Where have you been?
Sorry, man. Realize I should be.
Yeah, you should have been here. We got 10 minutes left. It's like
We're gonna make you stay an extra half an hour.
those are the type of students you lock the door and never get in. So suction, very important. Now I'm going to do something here. Here is giving you a layer by layer dialogue, visual dialogue as to what your printer is going to do. We chose my printer, the Frozen Sonic Mega 8K. It's well aware of what its capabilities are. And then when I do the slider, it shows you, see that surface area? That highlight there is the surface area that's going to be touching your what? Your model as it's going layer by layer, right? Okay. The better you minimize the amount of surface touching your LCD screen, the less suction you're going to have, the less suction effect you're going to have. This is not so critical with smaller printers like the Elegoo. When you go to large, that's where you're going to get failure hell because the physics change. The model's bigger, therefore the suction's much harder. And you're going to get constant prints being sucked off your supports, constant failures because you didn't apply proper supports now. You got a bigger printer, greater suction. Now you got to make your supports thicker and the point that connects to your models got to be wider, greater diameter. So it gloms on and grabs onto the model to bring it up. Does that make sense? So you will create a successful print for one model, no matter how sophisticated it is. And you say, I got this down. And you'll get another model and you'll put it in and it's going to fail because every model is unique. That's the thing they don't tell you in 3D printing. Every model is unique. You have to go in here and you have to use this and inspect every aspect of this layer to find out what is going to go on with that model. Maybe you didn't see something you should have seen. Yes.
If you find supports that work with this at, let's say, 2,000%, and then you decide, all right, well, I want to print it at 4,000%. Can you just scale it with the supports of the 4,000, or do you need to then go back?
No, you got to go back and redo it all again. The software doesn't allow you to do that. Now we're gonna go put on supports. I understand. Everybody listening? I understand how supports work pretty well. The only reason I understand it pretty well is because I had a lot of failures. That's the only way to really get this stuff. It's just to fail. So I manually put them on. I'm going to show you what the program's going to do, and then I'm going to show you what I would do manually. So if I go to support, right up this little button, and I come over here and select auto, it should be an auto, oh, this is in the way, that's why I can't see it. Auto supports here. This opens up over here for properties. Come on down and click apply, right here, little button at the bottom, and let it do its thing. And look what it did. That's Chitubox. That's its solution for printing this piece. How do you guys feel about this? What?
Seems kind of thin.
Well, it seems kind of thin, but what about?
Platform.
Okay, so one person says he has a flat up. Okay, it doesn't have a platform. Listen to me. When you're printing with a large printer, you do not want a platform. But do you know why? Yeah, you got a small one that works, but it will not because a platform is one continuous sheet of plastic. What type of suction? Incredible suction. It'll suck it right off your plate.
That's where I seem to have the most failures, is that I get a lot of stuff up that it's almost like it smashes down my build plate, and I get the model and there's no model there, just a build plate full of the first 5 layers. So what happened?
Right, because it's not just smashing it, it pulled it off your metal plate. There's such suction that your supports weren't strong enough, and it just pulled it right off the supports, and it's stuck down there. And then the metal plate would go down and up and down and up. It's not smashing it because the plate's constantly going up away from your model as you're printing. It's just that you have resin underneath there that's constantly curing.
So what printer are you representing? Planning to print this out.
Well, were you here earlier? No? Let's see.
I came in 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. All right, go. So we go back. Let's go back. Let's go back to here. Where is my option for? I'm using the Frozen AKS for this one. Okay, let me go here. Supports, exports, always. They changed their interface. This is the new Chitubox, and the old Chitubox I know very well. This new one I gotta futz around, but let me get rid of this here. Thank you. Okay. So those supports that we have, go to select the model here. Here's the printer over here. Oops. It went away. It went away. I stopped sharing the screen is what I did. Okay, I'm sharing the screen now, right? That should be. Okay, cool. That's right. But we're there. All right, so let me go to Chitterbox. There we go. All right, that's the printer right there. That's what I wanted to show you. It's an image of it. If you click on it, if I go to edit right over here, I can go to edit those settings. It doesn't show you the picture of the printer anymore, but it shows you the preferences for it. With large printers like this one, you don't want to go beyond, lift speed is 100 millimeters a second. I don't go beyond 50. With smaller printers, you can go up to 100, maybe a little bit more. Bigger printers, different physics. And I can't tell you how many times I saw on Facebook a frozen site of people buying the bigger printers and they're just having a hell of a time with it, saying it doesn't work, they hate it, they don't understand the physics. You go to a larger printer, it changes completely. So, okay, so what I would do with this real quick, and I think we got to wind down here, is I would go to model selected, go to supports. I go to manual supports. It automatically jumps up to allow for supports to the build plate. I do not use a raft. I do not use a raft. I use the natural bottom flat connectors of the supports as the raft. And what I will do is I'll start here. Damn it, I didn't want to do that. And I'll look at how it's going to print. And another reason you're printing at an angle is to allow for less supports. I want as few supports as possible, but I want them strong as hell so I don't lose my model. So the first thing is I get right down in here, and this point means that I can print with a flat base all the way up without having supports over most of this model. So the only reason I need supports here is to support the beginning printing and also to support the structure so that it stays stuck to the plate. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a support right here at the base. That's where it's going to start printing in two places. One there, over there, and right there. See? So I'm going to just kind of rotate this around. Put one right there. That's where it's going to start. Now I got to add more supports to make sure that where it starts, it's going to continue to be supported there. What happened here? There we go. Thank you. Another one right there in the corner. And then I'm going to add supports all around the side. Now, I'm not doing it. It has a base for it to have structure. So I'm going to add this down because this is going to keep it locked to the plate so that there's no possibility of it being ripped off. Here, 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 and one more right there, okay? That should do the job. Now, I don't really need supports anywhere else for structural reasons because it's got a base. Look at the base, it's got a solid base to move up on. I just need supports just to continually to support the structure to be locked on to the base. So all I need to do is add supports there. To the other side, maybe one here, one here. I'll put additional one here to be safe. And I'll do one more. And I think our presenter is here and I'm done. And that's pretty much all you may need. This cockpit's not going to be that big. I may do one more, probably right about there, and that will make me feel comfortable. I can probably print it. Now, one other thing is these supports I would make thicker too. So on the right-hand side, I'll come over and I've got middle, I got light, middle, heavy. I want heavy. I might go heavy. And then under the heavy, I'll go to the body of the heavy right here. I'll click on it. And it says it's going to be 2.5 at the base and 1.5 at the top. I'll do, go away. I'll do 2.5 for both so that, watch. Let me kind of get in here. See, it's thicker like that. That would really do the job. If I just put one there and just one there, I'll feel safe with that. And that's all you need. So Chili Box is putting stuff all down up in here where the red spots are. And that would cause all types of little junk on your cockpit that you don't want to see in your model. So you got to think about that too. All right, so I think we're done. Is the presenter here? Next presenter here? You're there. Oh, there you are. Being quiet back there. I'm gonna stay for your presentation. What's your presentation on?
I'm gonna be doing modeling kit parts for Greebles.
Oh, I'm definitely staying for that. You guys got to stay for that. All right. So, any questions before I go? No? All right. So, yes.
This has been real informative. Is there a way that we can kind of contact you and maybe
Yes.
access to this?
Right. Yep. That's right. I'm getting it right now. So I'm gonna go over here to my D drive. File and go right over here. I have the right here. So what you guys gonna do is take your cell phones right now, QR code right there. Okay. That puts you on my mailing list. I will mail you all 3 of my presentations from here from Wonderfest. And I'm also going to share with you the 5-week workshops to learn Blender, Introduction to Blender. They're on Sundays, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. for 5 weeks. Each one's recorded. Everybody got it? Everybody's all done? Okay, I'm out of here. We're going to let this gentleman come up and take it away. In the meantime, I'm going to.
Can you put that up real quick one more time?
Oh, one more time? Yeah, sure.
I got all the stuff on my phone and the thing I can never seem to find or I want it. I can't.
There we go right there. One more time. Then I got to get out of here.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. So stick around for the Greeblies presentation. This is going to be great. All right, let me get out of here. I'll move over to the side so you can get set up. Oh, whoop.
Modeling your day-to-day job, or is that just totally on?
That's what I do professionally. I do corporate training. I also teach at colleges.
You got the
and,
skills.
Oh, you got
Yeah, do you have some
Thank you.
information on it? I know it's online. Do you happen to have anything?
Yeah, I do actually. I'll put it up here. Yeah, come on up and grab this, pass it out to everybody.
Okay. Just give me a quarter and you can have.
Okay, all yours. Get that out of the way. And you want to sit over that way?
Yeah.
Okay. You can set your laptop up.
As soon as I grab, I'll grab a stick over.
Okay.
You want to do the rest of it? I'll be right back.
Is that power structures?
No, it's all the cons here. So go ahead and plug it in. And you're ready to go. I'm gonna shut this down. Shut this down and stop the recording. Stop recording.